Okay, let's see if we are live. If you're watching on YouTube right now, the VOD, there will be timestamps in the description and also in the time, sort of, yeah, how do you call that, Dennis? The time bar of the video. Like how that you can easily like jump to the show. Thanks everyone for joining already. Are we already live? I think so, right?
I think so too. I can see us live on both YouTube and Twitch.
Hey, thanks. Hey, Sekirokt. Odin is with us. Yesterday we had Thor with us. Curious if Odin will make an appearance right here.
If Odin shows up in Cyberpunk,
Yeah.
I cannot imagine how bad the God of War devs will be feeling, because that would be like 3 different games coming out this year related to Norse mythology.
Yep. Or like if in cyberspace you suddenly have like Norse mythology stuff or something.
I mean, that was sort of teased, and then it didn't, and then it sort of happened again. No, actually, I think, because there was a lot of confusion about that specific interview. For those of you who are not in the know, there was an interview with a German game site, if I remember correctly, and someone posted translations to Reddit, and not all of those proved to be 100% accurate. So if you saw any videos about being able to like summon dragons and necromancers in cyberspace, that is a possibility within the Cyberpunk universe. It is not necessarily a possibility within the game. So
that's right. Well put. Yeah, thanks everyone for joining. It's going to be very exciting.
Yes.
Saying hey Dennis, waves.
Yes, hello everyone on Twitch and YouTube.
Yeah, I mean, there might be people who are like, Dennis, what? Who are you? Like, can you like briefly introduce yourself?
and rightfully so.
Yeah.
So hi, my name is Dennis. I've been working with and for the channel since October 2018. And what I basically do is I help with everything that does not consider editing. So I don't edit any videos, but I record footage, I help with research, I check your comments, I check the emails, all that good stuff. So basically anywhere I can help except for editing, that's what I do. So, and yes, I'm also going to answer the obvious question. I am, like, I think everyone who works for the channel, Dutch. So
yeah, that's right. Everyone is.
That
Dutch.
explains the accent.
We do have Ben though. He's the random Aussie.
Yeah, that is true. Our wonderful editor Ben, or moderator.
Ben, are you also able to jump to YouTube? Because I think we now have a lot of moderators in the Twitch chat, but not on YouTube. Okay, you guys sound Dutch. Well, that's because we are Boris older man. You're likely Dutch as well, Jonathan. Thank you for that. Thank you for joining. Thanks everyone for joining. Dennis, I gotta be honest with you, I'm super excited about this.
Yeah, I am too.
It's been a while since we got the last update on this game. And this has been delayed a couple of times. The game has been delayed to November 19 now. So we have to wait a little bit longer. So this is really likely what we're getting right now that we can like stick our teeth into. I'm sure we will get way more. I really think that this is going to be the start shot of the marketing campaign that they have been kind of like they did the Xbox One edition. They did some screenshots here and there. They showed the factions, but nothing really substantial. And right now, I mean, we even know that previews are going up after this. So some people played the game. Like, what do you hope to see during this stream?
What I want to see most out of anything really is something that feels less like put together for a demo, because the footage we've seen so far has been really impressive, but it's very curated. So we are showing you this 10-second clip of gameplay to demonstrate this ability. And I just want to see more of the game in the wild, like how are interactions with NPCs gonna work? Can we get into like random combat encounters in the middle of the street? How does our equipment work? What skills do we have available, like menus and stuff? So we've seen a lot of different parts that look really cool, but I still haven't really seen how all of that is gonna fall together. And I'm hoping that they'll shed some light on that in this stream or in the preview that come after.
Yeah. I hope my audio is a little bit better now. I saw some people say that my audio is a little lower, but I kind of switched it up. Yeah, let me know if it's better now. And of course, Dennis, during the stream, we want to talk when nobody else is talking. Because I really think they will just give us a ton of information. Like, talk over it all the time. Let's give our reaction, have everyone understand what is being said. And then kind of go more in depth on it afterwards. But obviously, when they show gameplay and we have nobody talking, it's of course fun to give our good reaction.
Yep.
It's better now. Thanks everyone for noting that. That's awesome to see.
Awesome.
Thanks Moons for joining as well. Yeah, I think they learned from this. I think they learned from what the previous time we actually did the live react here with each other, like we were in the same room. And it was like a sort of what you said, a more concise version of the gameplay walkthrough they showed behind closed doors at E3 and at Gamescom. So I really got a good idea of how the game plays, but for the live stream they were jumping around all the time. So yeah, I totally get what you're saying here. I just want to see more of the world, but also like the combat. That's the only thing where I'm not really convinced about this game yet, is that it's going to play great as a shooter, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from.
Because like this for CD Projekt Red, like this is like they are not like Bungie who made Halo before going to Destiny, right? So they made third-person games like The Witcher. So I really hope they are able to show improvements they made to the shooting mechanics, but also to the melee. They already actually talked about how the melee has been greatly improved compared to what we saw last year.
I think that might have been one of the pieces that was mistranslated though.
Did you?
Which that was something that came up later, but I checked that thread again on Reddit, or it was a new one, and I think someone said that also didn't necessarily happen. I mean, it's still good, and I think I don't know if it was necessary, because we didn't really see a lot of melee combat anyway. We saw some short snippets of like the sort of wire thing that you can also use to hack to slash people. And we had, of course, the mantis blades, but those really seem to be sort of an
ability,
like a very oversized hidden blade that just insta kills things. So yeah, you can technically consider it a melee ability, but I wouldn't consider that melee combat. So maybe we'll see more of that now as well.
Yeah, I totally think so. Like we did see like the hammer actually that was pretty cool. Like during the walkthrough, and they were really playing in front of us, like during E3. And I actually watched the presentation 2 times because I was invited again at Gamescom. And there they did not pick up the hammer that you could get from the animals boss. So it was already kind of different. And I'm just curious, like, if the melee will be better than, for example, a Skyrim or something like a Bethesda game. Like that's really what I'm hoping to see. But overall, I just want to see more of this world. Like, I can't get enough. They already showed quite a lot. And I just can't get enough of the different districts and how each district is different. And we know about the Badlands now that is outside of Night City. Like, how is that going to play? How big is that? And we actually already saw a screenshot of, I think, in Badlands, like the new screenshot they released yesterday with like the house sort of in the middle of the desert.
Yeah, that definitely looked to be sort of the same aesthetic that or as the vehicle they showed earlier. So I can definitely imagine that place being in the Badlands as well. And I hope that we get to see more of that. I was going to say, I think location-wise, sure, there's going to be a lot of interesting locations in the city, but I feel like the big and surprising ones they wanna keep from you. But I want to see how the game looks in a sort of more open deserty area. And from what we've seen from the Wasteland, it does actually look to be like a very open dust plains and stuff. So I'm really excited how that's gonna look. Yeah. Because then you already have like 2 very distinct and different areas in the game visual-wise, and I think it's very cool.
I totally agree. We are starting in a moment now.
I was gonna say we won't have to wait long anymore.
Oh, they're actually thank Hypnotic for the bits there. That's very appreciated. Counting down.
Okay. Here goes.
I hope they have the same sort of animations as we saw yesterday.
You don't believe in no fate. Every day digging the grave.
Okay, there goes the,
Yeah.
the music. It's already getting played.
Yeah, copyright strike.
Yep, there we go.
Hello and welcome to this, the very first episode of Night City Wire, a brand new series from us at CD Projekt Red, where we'll be talking about all things Cyberpunk 2077.
I'm already looking at the background, like if there are any hints or artworks, but no.
One of our developers will be joining us to help unpack everything you're going to see. We'll have some news, an announcement about a secret collaboration. We'll be taking a look at some Braindance gameplay and welcoming back our developers just to have a chat about everything you're going to see. But there is one more thing. Media all over the world have been getting hands-on with Cyberpunk 2077, and when this episode finishes, you'll be able to go and check out exactly what they thought. So, let's get started. It is time to take a look at our brand new trailer, and after that, our lead quest designer Pavel Sasko will be joining us, because I've got a feeling you're going to have a few questions after watching this. So, let's take a look.
Let's go!
Love
Gimme.
this town, the city of endless opportunity. Ready to get your cherry popped? Yeah, come on!
City like any other, just bigger.
Nah, mano, not just any other city. Legends are born here.
The Major Leagues. We're only here because Dex is pulling the strings. Doubt that puts us in the same league as them.
But we are. They just don't know it yet. But if you got the cojones and you know how to use them, you can do damn near anything.
Unless you catch a bullet.
Even then, you go out with a bang, right?
Getting
You know,
GTA
you can
vibes.
make heaps more eddies as a
Yeah.
motivational speaker.
Yo, Mr. V.
Although
a
I do
pleasure.
think that also has
So
to
what's
do a
the
little bit
game,
with the
Dex?
music that they
Yeah.
Come
chose.
out in one piece. How about we go over the plan?
There's this prototype tech, a biochip to be precise. Job's to grab it.
Guessing it belongs to a corp.
Arasaka.
We're robbing some heavy hitters.
Thought you could blackmail me, fucker?
Okay, that guy looks scary.
First rule of the afterlife.
Ka-ching, baby.
Goes without saying, we do this on the hush. Ideally, no bodies, not a one.
Sounds simple enough.
He's lead, assholes!
Is it gonna be dangerous?
Don't you worry, mi amor. We're bulletproof.
Not a different area.
No!
What the fuck
Yeah,
just
but
happened
also
there?
like different
It's
types
not
of
digging
enemies.
nice shit.
Fucking Major Leagues.
Because that's also something I was a little bit worried about.
Fucking high!
But they seem to have that covered.
Oh my god, we're so fucked.
Wow, this showed a lot actually. This showed a ton.
Dex!
Yeah,
What the fuck?
I was gonna can't wait to
Damn
like
risky, V.
watch this 5 times over again.
Who are you?
Fuck.
There he is.
Okay, so what happened there?
So the trailer contains footage from the game's prologue only, but
I
there
think-
was
I
an
think I might have
awful
an
lot
idea,
in
but
it.
we'll wait.
So Pavel, why don't you try and help us
Prologue?
unpack everything that we
What?
just saw?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean, absolutely, I can try. So, what you have just seen is only the prologue of the game. So that awesome stuff is only happening in the first few quests. What the trailer shows you is really our stage, the Night City. You know, this gigantic city built of 6 completely unique districts, surrounded by the 7th one.
That definitely
called
looks like
Badlands.
Moxie
As a
territory.
player, you are meeting
Or Moxes,
Jack.
I'm sorry.
Jack is your friend. Now, they together are trying to reach out for something that is very precious. They are trying to reach out for this chip of immortality, this gateway to eternal life. Jackie introduces you to Fixer Dexter Deshawn. He's a very important person in the social ladder of Cyberpunk. He is able to provide the player with various jobs and contracts to be able to gather money, to be able to modify their bodies, push themselves to the limits, to put their hands on the chip. But as you can expect, not everything goes as planned, and but to see it, you have to play the game.
There are an awful lot of really cool things in this trailer, and there's a few that I would just love to talk about a little bit more for the people at home. So let's start with talking about a gang.
Yes, please
called
do my
Mox.
work
Now,
for
we
me.
see a few flashes of them in this trailer. I personally think they're really cool and one of my favorites, but can you give us a little bit more information about them?
Oh yes, so the Mox is one of the gangs that player is going to interact with throughout the game. The Mox is the gang that has been formed in 2076 after death of Elizabeth Borden. She was called Lizzie. Now, she was an owner of a brothel and former sex worker, and she was protecting working guys and girls from harassment, from abuse, and the gang is really continuing her mission. And as a player, you are going to interact with that gang, meet multiple different NPCs, and craft your own relationship with them, and understand what they are all about.
So earlier on, you did mention a 7th district, a place called the Badlands. Now, we saw a few shots of this in the trailer, but I'd love for you to give us a bit more detail about the district outside of the city walls.
Okay, so the Badlands is this like dead, dried out space going around the whole Night City. And as a player, you'll be able to traverse that space in your car or motorcycle. This is a space that is inhabited
like trailer
by
camps
the
and
nomads.
stuff.
Nomads are living in different families, and they're traveling across that space in convoys made out of the cars and motorcycles. And as a player, you'll be able to traverse and access different type of open world content that has been prepared specifically for you to get that awesome feel of the Badlands as an area.
In the trailer, we also saw like a completely metal creature. Now, he didn't look like he was from the Maelstrom gang. This looked like something else. So please tell the people at home, who is this giant metal monster?
Okay, so that big dude, that was Adam Smasher. He has been introduced in pen and paper in Cyberpunk 2020 by our senpai Mike.
That guy looks terrifying.
Adam Smasher
I hope we get to fight him.
Fully converted cyborg. He was always a loyalist of Arasaka. And time has changed, and in 2077 he had to find his own space in Night City. But to find out, you'll have to play the game.
In this trailer, we do see some flashes of a Ripper Doc called Victor Vector. I think if people have watched our previous gameplays, they might remember him. But I'd really like for you to give the people at home some more information about what Ripper Docs are and how they'll be interacting with them when they play Cyberpunk.
So Ripper Docs in our game, they are surgeons. They are like a specific type of a job in the social ladder of Cyberpunk. They are accustomed and specialized in replacing limbs to the metal ones. They can basically update your body, enhance your body, change you into this walking war machine. And as a player, you are going to meet different kind of Ripper Dogs.
Like your clothing also
game,
matters.
craft your own
That's already really
with them.
interesting.
Some of them are like important characters for a story. Through that, you will invest eddies that you're gathering to turn your body into this tool that allows you to survive on the streets of Night City.
Pavel, thank you so much for joining us. I know you'll be back later in the episode because you're going to be helping us to analyze the Braindance gameplay. But before that, we do have some news to share. Earlier in the year, we announced that if you pick up Cyberpunk 2077 on Xbox One, you'll be able to play it on Xbox Series X when the console launches. And just in case you missed it, it will be the same for PlayStation players as well. If you pick up Cyberpunk 2077 on PlayStation 4, you'll also be able to play it on PlayStation 5 when the console launches. And that's not all. There will be a free upgrade for Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5, but we'll have more details on that soon.
To Night City.
Before we reveal our first look at the Braindance gameplay and welcome back our developers for a chat, there is just one more thing we want to announce. Something that we've been working on in secret for a while.
Lady Gaga in the game.
We are very excited to announce our partnership with Studio
Meryl
Trigger
Streep was the one they wanted, right?
Cyberpunk Edgerunners, a standalone anime set in the Cyberpunk universe,
Netflix.
which we've been working on for some time now.
Oh,
Edgerunners
damn.
is due to launch in 2022, but for some more information, let's go to the team in Tokyo.
I mean, they got that taste of the Netflix show with The Witcher.
Yeah.
They want that. They want that boost.
Hi, my name is
Curious
Kara
to see if that will
Elga.
link into
I am
the
the
story, though.
Japan-based
Probably not. It's
producer
going to be
for
releasing much
Cyberpunk
later.
Edgerunners. What I do basically on this project is that I am a fixer, to put it in the words of the Cyberpunk universe. We are a game company. We are a bunch of nerds, and wherever there are nerds, there's going to be anime fans. So it was always a dream for us to make anime. When we began this project, we were certain that we didn't want to make a recreation of the game. Cyberpunk Edge Runners is a standalone story set in the same universe. The stage is still Night City, but everything else is totally new. New characters, new story. I do like to think that it's going to be a great gateway for newcomers to come and check Cyberpunk game and also the Cyberpunk genre as a whole.
We'll have the multiplayer game later on, so it makes sense.
Right now we're in Nakano,
Yeah.
which is one of the biggest anime
That's
mechas
actually
of the
really
world.
interesting.
I'm going to take you to Studio Trigger right now because we have the wonderful opportunity to talk to the Dream Team that will be bringing you this anime.
I want to go back to Japan.
トリガーの内部取締役の大塚です。監督の今石井です。
What did Trigger do? Oh, Kill a Kill? Okay, that's actually interesting.
のファンの方、今回初めて触れる方両方に満足していただけるようにアニメを作るつもりです。よろしくお願いします。
今回はそのサイバーパンクという僕らが10代の一ファンにしか過ぎなかった頃に生まれたジャンル、そういうジャンルのものをまた、時代が何周もして作れるというのが非常に楽しみです。
トリガーも10年ということで、監督に今石、キャラクターデザインに吉成というトリガーの最強の布陣で、トリガー10周年にふさわしい作品にしていきたいと思います。
I'm not gonna lie, I know this is not what people came for, but I'm really excited by
I get
this.
that.
This could be something really cool. We're gonna have to wait a very long time
gameplay of Braindance
to see it anyway.
This is a feature that you'll experience when you play Cyberpunk 2077.
Yes.
Braindance is essentially a recording of somebody else's experience. It allows you to relive their sense of sight, smell, touch, and even hearing, all thanks to a special device. After the gameplay, I will be welcoming back Pavel Sasko, and will also be joined by Patrick Mills, our senior quest designer and all-round lore master, who will be helping to answer your questions and give you some explanation on how you'll be interacting with Braindance when you play Cyberpunk 2077. So, let's take a look.
Plan simple. Do nothing odd. Don't get creative. You go in, snatch the cash, get out. And we sell the BD to those psycho freaks from the studio.
Got it.
And remember, everything on full blast. They'll spot us extra for a wicked adrenaline high. Okay, on you go.
Down! Everybody! On the ground! I want to see you kissing the flooring! Money! Now! Or I will fucking drop you! I swear to God! Well, yeah,
GTA 5.
now,
yeah.
Before I blow your fucking head off!
Why is there a Rubik's Cube on the desk? That's what I want to know.
He did complete it.
Take the cube! Take the cube! No!
Slow, deep breaths. Your cortisol and adrenaline
That is
spiked,
really
but
interesting.
the soft activated your hormone blockers. Nothing happened. You're alive and well.
That was too much. Could feel the guy's pain, his stress, his hope. Hope wrapped up in something else.
Mm-hmm. Probably took a booster just before. You'll be fine. Got everything set up? Let's switch over to editing mode.
Oh no, you can change it.
Editing mode.
This is pretty cool because normally in open world games it's pretty hard to do linear missions, but
yeah, but
with
this way you
can,
and it's a great way, I think, of like expanding the universe, because you're sort of limited if you tell a story through one character, and this allows them to really easily expand the world by telling a different character story through the main character. Photo mode confirmed.
Then you use the editor console to unpause. Try it.
Plan simple. Do nothing odd. Don't get creative. You go in, snatch the cash, get out. And we sell the BD to those psycho freaks from the studio.
Got it.
Curious how you
Dream
can
as hell,
edit
right?
it though.
Well, that's not all. You can speed things up or rewind, whatever you like.
Like a
Give it a
detective
try.
mode a little bit
Rewind.
as well.
Roll it
Yeah,
back to the top.
I think because they were talking about not wanting to rely that much on like Witcher sense, because that's something the Witcher really heavily did, and they wanted to give more interesting gameplay
You can also reset
yeah,
the
mechanics.
recording.
I think this is what they were talking about.
Try it.
because instead of just piecing together what happened based on your surroundings, you just replay a memory.
Mode, you get to view and even scan details of the enviro recorded by the BD roller. Focus on the heat, the gun this gonk gets from his buddy at the beginning. Now scan it.
Plan simple. Do nothing odd. Don't get creative. You go in, snatch the cash, get out. And we sell the BD to those psycho freaks. And remember,
Okay, right here. Excellent. Let's move on. Now heads up. In analysis mode, you can ferret out background noise and conversations if the roller got close enough. This tech records everything, every little detail, even the sights and sounds the roller was never aware of. To see the sources of the recorded sensory signals, switch to the audio layer in the editor. Go ahead and try that now. Okay, good. Now you should see several sound signatures in the store. Choose one and hone in on it.
Pack of 6, case of Brosif, and a couple of zappers.
Okay, we have a deal today on 2 flavors, Cuddy and Surf and Turf. Everybody!
So, any thoughts?
Unbelievable. Seriously, like what's happening right next to me.
Yeah, it's how BD recording implants work. They pick up everything, all the elements in the background. Then an editor tweaks them, makes them pop. Keep playing with the sound, explore it a bit. We'll move on when you get bored.
I was thinking that this was going differently.
Maybe this will finally teach me how editing works. Also, people in YouTube chat are still saying I'm too loud.
Like what?
So if you can change the
Yeah,
volumes
but
a
then the
little
audio
bit.
of the...
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I'm sorry.
Huh. Hella nice.
Scanning works on peeps too. Walk up to the wounded chick. Try scanning her. Alright, next thing. Scroll forward to the part where our artist gets a lead injection.
Or I will fucking drop you, I swear to God! Well, now, fucking head off!
See that? They shot him and he never saw it coming. But you will. Here it comes. My favorite part of the game. See the blinking thing over the entrance? Surveillance cam. Must have caught our shooter. You'll see in a sec. Cam feeds to the screen behind the clerk. Roll back to where the screen's in the kid's field of vision, then scan it.
I'm not sure if it was necessary to add something.
No, not this long. I don't think this was what most people were waiting for. I do think it's really interesting though. And it really goes to show how much variation there's gonna be in the gameplay. I feel like they could have balanced it out a little bit better.
Anyway, if you've seen enough, you can exit. Yeah, it's impressive, right? It's too bad most of the BDs we do here are only good for flogging the log.
So Braindance is a pretty big part of the Cyberpunk universe. It's not just something used for adult films. There is an awful lot to it. And there's 2 sides I'd really like you guys to help me explore. First is the lore, so how this actually fits into the universe, and then there's the gameplay side, so how players will be interacting with it. So Patrick, could you tell us more about the lore of Braindance?
I would love to. So in the world of Cyberpunk 2077, Braindance was invented way back in the early 2000s at UC Santa Cruz. It was developed as a way of recording a person's experiences and then playing them back for someone else so that they could relive them as though it was happening to them. It was originally used for things like therapy and prisoner rehabilitation, but by 2077 it's become this global media industry, including things like movies, mass entertainment, things like that, video games, some interactive things, and of course adult fare as well. Now, in our game, we deal a lot with black brain dances, or XBDs as we call them, and there are different types of those, but the one that you saw in the trailer just there was a flatliner. Now that's where the person recording it actually dies during the recording. And it's popular with sort of an illicit kind of a thrill, but a mercenary can also use them for various things, and you'll see that in the game, of course.
And from the gameplay perspective, we have been working a lot throughout last years trying to figure out the best way how to use the braindance in the game as a mechanics. So what we have settled on is this braindance editor mode. As a player, you will be able to run the braindance in the editor mode and see different clues that have been registered on the peripheral of given actor. Now, as a player, you can slide on the timeline of that recording, back and forth, trying to uncover different clues. And that clues are actually telling a story in the game. So, as a player, you will run different investigations that will lead you to different mysteries, and you will uncover them actually using that braindance as a mechanics in the game.
So, as Pavel was saying, we use braindance as a storytelling
Not
tool.
convinced.
It's not a collectible. It's not something where you're going to go in and you're going to play it and you're going to be like, I've seen this before. What we use braindance for is to give you a keyhole into the life of the residents of Night City. And we can explore things like childhood trauma, religion, various philosophical ideas in a way that you might not otherwise experience in a story about a mercenary on the tough streets.
So we've tried to talk about some of the aspects that we think the community will find really exciting, but you know, while you're both here, I'd love to know, what is it about Cyberpunk that you guys are really excited for? Patrick, why don't you start?
So one of the things that I'm most excited about in this game is the characters and the way they interact with the world. We've got this really interesting world that stretches all the way back to the Cyberpunk 2020 source material and all of these events and all of those things, but those don't mean anything unless they connect with characters. And so when we come up with a character, we start with their function. What is this person? What do they do in the story? But we don't stop there. We go back and we figure out, what was their childhood like? What was their upbringing like? What kind of obstacles did they face in this harsh reality, and did they overcome them? And how did they overcome them, or did they not overcome them, and why? And you can see all of those things in their environment, in their dialogues, in sort of how they operate in the world. And we come up with that for all of our characters. Now, you look at someone like Victor Vector, and you're going to see stories about his past in his environment and in his dialogue. You know, we come up with that stuff even if we don't use it in the game, because it helps inform us as to who these characters are.
And for me, I would not be myself if I would not say that I'm the most excited about our quests. Like with our Witcher 3 team, with Patrick and like everybody that has stayed with us since the Witcher 3 time, we really have grown so much. We have learned so much, and we have used all that experience to put them into the quest that we have made. And you will not find really a filler in this game. Like everything has a meaning. Like we put so much effort into making sure that everything is rewarding, is interesting, is talking about characters, as Patrick said, is talking about worlds, is talking about emotions, like touching the player in a really, like a real way. And I just can't wait to find out what you think.
Pavel, I know you mentioned story and quests and writing quests, and when I was last in the studio, I had a look and I saw a notebook on your desk, and I would love for you to show everybody this notebook.
Hey, he suddenly has it.
You asked for it, so...
Surprise, pre-recorded, confirmed.
Salsa quest designer. The reason is because I dance salsa, and I'm a quest designer, so you know. So I started this notebook actually when we were really starting Cyberpunk. At the very beginning, I wrote like a first note, and it says pretty much something along the lines of that we were starting with a prototype. And then, you know, I kept on basically noting things that we've been working on for like next years. I remember once when our concept artists actually approached me, and they said that they want to take a look on my notebook. I was like, what for actually? And they took some pictures, and they told me, yeah, well, you know, because we are looking for a reference material for notes of a psychopathic killer. so yeah, well, you may find maybe some of my notes in the game.
Pavel and Patrick, thank you so much for joining me. I'm pretty lucky because I have read some of the stories that you and the team have written for Braindance, and I'm pretty excited for people to discover them. But before we do finish today's episode, there is just one more thing we'd like to talk about. Earlier in this episode, I mentioned that media have been getting hands-on with the opening of Cyberpunk 2077, and they should be posting their impressions right about now. And if you missed anything from today's episode, don't worry, we'll be uploading everything to our channels very soon. And finally, on behalf of everybody at CD Projekt Red, we just want to say thank you so much for joining us for this, the very first episode of Night City Wire. But don't worry, we'll be back with episode 2 in just a few weeks. So, we shall see you soon.
Just a few weeks. Oh, that's pretty cool.
Okay. That sort of eases the pain a little bit.
The Notebook sold the game for me, so it's game roll. Wow, I think it's interesting how. Let's go to hopefully their chat. Let me, if we can go to Jeff here, maybe.
Night City Wire. And
let's go see what Jeff's doing.
Yeah, no, I want to go
Jeff.
back to the.
I know.
Yeah.
I am currently looking at our stream, so with a little bit of delay, I can see what you're actually pausing it on.
Trailer and after.
I'm gonna check if it's actually already in the.
Like up on YouTube.
Yeah, that would be nice. Yeah. Let me
Twitch chat, get over yourself. It's only a caller. It'll be fine.
No, it's not everything. So let's go back to Jeff.
Well, they do have like the trailer. So that was the first one.
Yeah, okay,
I
but
think that
everything.
probably showed most of the interesting things.
Yeah. Okay,
so
but that's only 2 minutes. So otherwise we will be looking at 2 minutes of gameplay. So why is it?
I mean, that's what we're gonna do after stream anyway. So. That's
right. So what is your takeaway? Why is it so? Okay, it's getting better now.
I'm not sure, to be honest, because the thing is, I was expecting different things from the stream, and maybe that's why I feel, I don't want to say disappointed, but like the whole brain dance thing, we were all discussing it during stream. It's something really interesting. And I think it bodes very well for the variety of gameplay that we're gonna get and the way it's gonna tell stories. Because the cool thing this actually allows you to do is you don't have to write lore entries. Like you don't have to write books in order to make people understand more about the world. You can just make them experience it, which I think is really cool.
Yeah.
But then again, the only thing we really saw was like 10 minutes of someone playing video editor in in Cyberpunk. No offense to video editors, I love you, Joyce. I don't know if you're still in chat, but I feel like people were expecting more active gameplay, like the trailer, the first trailer they showed, and there were some little snippets in there, but it was still. It was still not what we were talking about in the beginning.
No,
we still don't know how the game is gonna like come together.
Maybe
and work as
the previews have footage that they can like show more gameplay, so we will see that in a second, like after the stream. But so far I'm like, they had 25 minutes after almost a year of no gameplay, and then you decide to show 10 minutes in a like. It might be interesting to. Like, it's good that they talk about this, because it would suck if you bought this game and did not know about this feature, and then suddenly you're in this editor and you're like, what the heck is this? So it's good that they talked about it, but to have that be one of the focuses during your first stream is kind of weird. But I think we both agree on that. I thought it looked really cool. That let's actually switch to the moment they actually started, because it started as like you were playing their memory, and that was awesome. Like I like that, and I was like, okay, so we can replay it, but then as the character can maybe do different things, and that was kind of not.
We don't actually know if they were playing it, right? It could just be like watching a cutscene in first person and then editing it in like third person, because that was one of the things I was waiting for with the whole editor mode.
We see it like the timeline as well. Like
exactly, and it looks like gameplay, because of course the whole first person camera model. But I don't think like animations like this, like the one you're showing right now, I don't think those are gonna be possible for you as a main character, just because of the way that you can turn your head separately from where the gun is pointing, which wouldn't make sense from a gameplay perspective.
No, you're right. And you want to like kind of experience how they saw it, so it would be weird if you could like turn it around.
Exactly.
I mean, this looked awesome, like this whole setting, and that you're like in this, but I'm just curious how it will be incorporated and if it will be like really forced in certain missions. And because like you said, I like it when they do a variety of gameplay, but if it's mostly because we already had puzzles. We already saw a hacker like hack into different sort of I think the network of the area, and if you like did a weird puzzle, you could like hack animals, like the enemies that were in that area at that time. So that was already, I was always like, okay, that is there, I'm fine with that. I will likely play a character who isn't really focused on hacking, so I can like skip the puzzles, and then we see this. And I don't know, it kind of reminded me of some other games like the detective mode, only you don't really play, but there were like maybe, I'm not even sure, like Detroit I think had something like this, like those types of games. So I don't know, but let's focus on the so in terms of a presentation, I was kind of sad that they mostly focused on that, while actually everything they showed before that, man, I'm like, how is this possible on a PS4 and Xbox One?
And I think this is also one of those expectation things. Like the same thing happened with the Valhalla gameplay reveal. If they would have communicated properly what this was going to be about, and I know that they don't want to spoil it,
but we just did not know what the feature was.
Yeah, exactly. And I do think it's a really cool feature, and I'm really excited to see what it's going to bring to the table in terms of gameplay. But I agree with you that I'm most impressed by like the first 5 minutes of the stream.
Yeah, the trailer.
Or at least as far as the game is
really
concerned.
Cool. Yeah, the prologue they actually showed, and this guy, of course, the tough guy. For people who are joining, who is the other guy? He's Dennis. He has been with the channel for a really long time, mostly doing behind the scenes things, helping me, like reading all the comments, looking at Reddit. And like making sure that the videos that we publish have a ton of different, a lot of different info from across the whole web, because it's hard to, it's impossible to really be up to date on every game. So that's what Dennis is helping, and that's why he's also here, because he's a huge CDPR fan, and really hyped for Cyberpunk, of course, as well. So, I don't know. I want to we did not see any menus. I was kind of bummed maybe out about that, right?
There were a couple of interesting pop-ups though. I don't know if you noticed, but in one of the gameplay clips they showed like handguns and then a 3 next to it, which I think indicates that you can level up specific skills. I don't know if I don't think we already had like 100% confirmation on that, but it almost feels like going back to a game like the first Borderlands, where if you use a specific type of weapon more, you get better with it. Yeah. So I think that's really interesting that was sort of there as a teaser.
Mm-hmm.
But you're right, no like big skill tree reveals or menus or stuff like that.
Yeah, because looking at the gameplay, they actually revealed. Wow, I'm now scrolling through it, and actually the amount of new gameplay we got is actually not that much. I was really expecting more. I do like.
Most of it are just little snippets in between, because there is quite a lot, but.
Yeah, let me see. Like, because I think like at the
near the end,
some, interesting stuff.
Yeah, over there.
Yeah.
That's
Witcher Deus Ex from Detroit.
That sums up this game perfectly, I feel, or at least from what we've seen so far.
For sure. So I think it will be just good to go offline, fully analyze the trailer, and make a cool video about it. Dennis, what
definitely, because I feel like if we look at it more, we can discover more interesting things. To be honest, like as cool as the braindance feature looks, I don't think there's really that much for us to talk about right now.
Oh well, yeah, we will just briefly discuss it. The gameplay is up now, as someone say it, but this is like the TV show, I think.
Yeah, that's Edge Runner, but that was the gig is like the first trailer they showed about the prologue.
Oh yeah.
Which actually I thought that information. Yeah. Like, there is some really interesting stuff in here.
And it's all the prologue. I was pretty surprised by that.
Yeah.
This looks insane.
Yeah, this is definitely like Mox's territory.
I like how they actually like go to these sort of strip clubs, and the game is already like very neon based, so it makes a ton of sense that they embrace that even more.
Yeah, but then when you see like the footage we had from the wasteland, that's something completely different.
Yeah, for sure. So that is pretty early on as well. The one of the early demos they showed E3 2018. We actually saw those enemies there already, and we're going in the Badlands already early on.
I think that might have to do with because this is definitely Badlands. I think it might have to do maybe with what background you pick. They might go for a similar system that Dragon Age Origins had, where you have like an origin story. Because for a nomad, it would make sense to start out there, whereas for a corpo, a street kid, it would not. So maybe there's like different prologues, or it starts and then you get into the prologue.
We will likely learn more about that. Check games radar for new gameplay. So they likely played the game, I guess. We can quickly go there. Games radar.
Yeah, I'm curious about that now. If the people who got to preview the game actually have gameplay they can show.
I think so. Yeah, this looks new. Yeah, this is with UI.
This is an old trade. No, this is an.
Yeah, we're looking at it now. Go to Liz's bar. Not 4K though, which is weird. Yeah, this.
I think this was also in the gameplay demo, although they're driving slightly worse, so it might be their own gameplay.
They got more fleshed out versions of the small tidbits that we had.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh wow.
Because this was also like we saw this, but this was also taking less long.
I think they just got some B-roll, but way more than what we.
Yeah. But that's still interesting, because like you already said, the things they did show looked pretty cool.
Yeah, and now they're.
I don't think they showed this though. This looks new.
Yeah, you're a little bit behind, but I get what you.
Yeah, the stealth
like
sequence.
With the containers mission. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like this is old footage, and now they're switching to new footage. I'm not sure why they are doing that. Okay, cool. So a lot to discuss, actually.
Yep.
Thanks everyone for joining. Oh, a new gameplay on Jeff Keighley channel as well. Okay, cool. So a lot to download, a lot to go over. I'm gonna play The Last of Us Part 2 tomorrow. Good luck with that. It's an awesome game. And I see some people hating on it, and they haven't played it, I'm sure. The game looks incredible. Thanks, Ben, for moderating, and we of course saw Joyce, of course, join here as well. And thanks everyone. I think it's going to be. I mean, like looking at this gameplay already got me way more excited than the stream. But they likely thought we have all the previews going up anyways, so we can like focus the stream more on a feature that the people that played the game likely did not play.
Yeah.
So then everyone else can like look at the preview footage, because
that's what I'm hoping to, but only one way to find out.
Yep, for sure. Okay, thanks everyone for joining again, and tomorrow Dennis will be streaming on Twitch, and yeah, we will be making Cyberpunk video right now. So goodbye.